Kane, it's 1-0. Fucking down. 13th in the championship. The takeover happened as I said it would. People will be. Oh, when have we got Leeds? Now then, people, welcome back to the Just Joe Football Show, and it's time for your Peterborough vs Leeds FA Cup third round live preview. Will a cup run be written in history? We shall discuss this. Probably not, but we can at least have a chat about it. I've got two great guests with me this evening. It's great to have variety, and normally, I'm sick of talking to Andrea and Lockie. That's what it is. So I'm joking, of course.
Sick of being scooped by Andrea with the players before we sign them.
I know, right? Gabe, how are you, my American brother? You okay? Are you good?
Listen, winter is coming, Joe. 7 inches of snow coming tonight. It's -6 right now. That's why it looks like a tomb in my flat. Had to turn on the lighting. Wow. Yeah, it's great. What a time to be alive. Yeah. New England is colder than proper England.
Yeah. I mean, it's cold here, but yeah, bloody hell, that's freezing. Ollie, how are you, my man? All doing good?
I'm doing well, mate. I'm doing very well. How are you?
Thank you very much for asking, mate. I'm all right, mate. I'm a little bit tired. I can't lie. I finished House of Dragon last night because I didn't watch it when it came out, so I watched it all in like one sitting. Have you seen it? Are you a Game of Thrones fan? I really enjoyed it. It took about episode 6 to get into it, but then like when it went, it started to run.
I'm going to start a row with Joe here now, Ollie. I saw Joe tweeting about how much he liked Rebel Moon the other day. I just couldn't. My brain exploded. I was like, I needle Joe for everything. I can't say anything about this. I have to just let him enjoy what he likes and leave him alone.
So I didn't mind it. Tell me why. Tell me why. Some of the acting was a bit tin pot and all that sort of stuff. But why didn't you like it?
I don't even blame the acting. Just people don't talk the way that dialogue was written. It's just okay. I just thought it was just. It's every single sci-fi trope I've ever seen in my entire life thrown into one movie. It was Dune. It was Blade Runner. It was Star Wars. Write something
I have no
new.
idea what you guys are on about, by the way.
Yeah, neither does anybody else. Nobody cares. I'm just going on because I'm apparently an endless rage machine. This is what
I think the Rebel Moon was like, it was meant for Star Wars, right? But then George Lucas sold. Was it actually rejected?
Yeah, George Lucas said no thanks before he even sold it. So.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll be real with you, mate. I didn't finish it, to be honest, Gabe. So.
Yeah, it's because it's rubbish. That's why you didn't finish it. You were like...
Read into that what you will. I enjoyed the first part. And
you wanted to like it, and then you said, you know what? I can't go back on this tweet. I'm just going to quietly turn it off.
Yeah. Exactly.
Oh, no. Joe has froze.
Yeah. What an expression to be froze on as well.
I was going to say, we have to carry this thing, I think.
He's turning red. The sound's muted again.
Oh, you're muted, Joe, mate. You're muted. You can chuck your hands around all you like. Guys, if you wouldn't get this over at my channel, so just go over to mine.
Oh, my days.
Oh, look at that. He's gone. Hi,
all
guys.
of the pirates come in here to pillage Joe's channel.
This is Just Joe. I've grown a bit of hair now. And we're back. Oh, no. Okay, he's taken... No, we can't hear you.
I was joking.
Oh, hey!
Sorry about this. I'm banging around on my desk, yeah? And I think something's unplugged somewhere, but I'll have to be careful.
That's what we'll do.
That's what it was. I was talking about movies, weren't I? So that's what it is. Right, let's talk about some football then. And we will talk about this first and foremost because this came out a couple of hours ago now on Twitter. From the GOAT himself, if you like, when it comes to transfer news, Fabrizio Romano said that Fabio Carvalho, I don't know why it does this now. When I've gone on to view tweet, it's now putting it there. Is that a new thing? No, there we go. Liverpool will decide on the best loan option for Fabio Carvalho in the next few days. Southampton, Hull City and Leeds are all pushing to sign him. Wolves also asked for Fabio, but game time guarantees will be key. I think it's safe to say that probably Wolves or any Premier League side would struggle to give him the game time that Liverpool want him to get. So how do we feel about the potential signing of with Fabio Carvalho. It obviously excites you, Ollie, straight away, first and foremost, right?
Yeah, I think he's a brilliant player. I really do.
Yeah.
I remember when he was it was Fulham for Liverpool, wasn't it? And
yeah,
it was just he was brilliant there. And the thing is, I think he's one of them players. He's that good that I think that, you know, I think it's been spoke about game time. Where would he play for us? But I think he genuinely is that good that you've got to start saying, well, he would come in for such and such. Like I think he is that good. I could see him across a three with him, Somerville, and Rutter, because obviously he can play out on the wing as well. I just think it would be brilliant. But I did tweet out myself. I could genuinely actually see someone like Hull take it, because obviously Hull are in the mix, and I think if you Wolves, Leeds, and Southampton, can they guarantee him the game time that Liverpool want for him? And Hull, I mean, their manager keeps hinting that they've got a big signing coming in and stuff like that as well. So I don't know, but either way, it does. Of course, it excites me. He's a fantastic player, and I'd love to see him in a Leeds shirt.
Yeah, I would as well. I mean, Leeds United were perennially linked with him when he was at Fulham, to be honest. And then obviously he moved to Liverpool. He had a few games, but obviously Liverpool were all over the shop that season. Then they loaned him out to Leipzig. It's obviously not gone well for him. And we know Liverpool are tough negotiators when it comes to loans. Anyway, they always have been. They have to have certain clauses met and stuff. Otherwise, you end up paying more. So this will be stuff that'll definitely be getting ironed out behind the scenes. Gabe, we were just chatting off there. I'm of the thinking that, I mean, he's a right winger, right, but can play in the 10. Yeah, you know, and our wingers are, you know, it's all interchangeable at the minute anyway. But the only place I can see him getting game time is at right wing for me, because I don't want to see Rutter come out of the 10. That's just my opinion, though. So I don't know if, like Ollie says, we can guarantee him that game time. I'm not too sure.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? Jorginho might get benched the next time he does a flick on if Farke doesn't like it. Look, to coin a Joe phrase, we have a lot of keyboards at this club. And whereas you can talk about rotating the squad, that's not what Daniel Farke has proven to be doing. In fact, the opposite has been true. He's left guys like Jadon Anthony, who's a Premier League level player, on the bench. He's left Willie Gnonto, one of our most promising prospects, on the bench. He's played Dan James and Cree Somerville almost exclusively out wide on the wing, and hasn't shown a lot of tactical flexibility, just in terms of, I'm not saying he should, but just in terms of how he lines up, the personnel he likes to use. And what's happening is a lot of players that you would expect to be in full rotation aren't being utilized in this squad. One of the conditions on a loan is that you want your players to be utilized. So if I'm looking at choosing between Southampton, Hull City, and Leeds United, if you're Liverpool, Hull City is a much more attractive alternative for the player. But to speak to your points, look, 10 goals and 7 assists the last time he was at this level in this division. That was 21, 22, I think it was, before Fulham went up. Obviously got a little bit of game time, showed some flashes in his time in the Premier League with Liverpool before he was sent out on loan. Switching divisions, switching countries, that can be difficult on any player. I think sometimes we as Leeds United fans don't give enough credit to that concept. It is very difficult, especially he's not an old player. He's still a young player. So is it an interesting player to be linked with? Yes. Is he really talented? Absolutely. Where do I see him fitting in? I'm not 100% sure. He is not a pure number 10. He can play the central attacking midfielder role, but he's not the creative hub of the team, as Oscar over at One Leeds would like to say about a number 10 role. He doesn't really have the traditional number 10 attributes. He can play there, but if you're looking at the way we play, the people we've had play in that position, even though we don't have a true number 10, the way Jorginho Rutter does create chances is the guy you would rather see in that position at this point in the season. So an interesting depth piece, but again, or maybe a starter. It could go either way. There are a number of different cases you can make for different players, but because Farke has shown a reticence to actually rotate some of these players and deploy different lineups against different opponents, that's not a criticism, just a statement of fact. If you're Liverpool, you got to think you go with one of the alternatives.
Yeah, and Ollie, like, I don't want to go too much into this because it's been done a death over the last 24, 48 hours by every single content creator, naturally so. But we don't want another Jed Spence situation on our hands where we get a player in and end up losing money, because that's what we've done with Jed Spence, in effect. We've lost money. We don't want to do that with Fabio Carvalho. I was always dubious when people said go get him anyway, because I felt he would go to a Premier League club. It looks now that he will drop down a division just for that game time angle. But he never really entered my thought process. So of course I would like him, but I don't think I'd be too upset, because I'm not like, I never expected it to happen. But Yeah, I just don't know where he's going to fit in, Ollie. It's going to be a tough deal to get done as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And I think it's, the typical Leeds fan thing. I think it's just a football fan thing. When you get linked with someone, you want him. And that's how I think a lot of our fans have reacted, including myself. I've been saying, yeah, get him in. He's the number 10 we need. I think he's a talented player, but then I haven't necessarily thought about where he would fit. And I think Abe's right by saying, Farke is sticking with pretty much 13 players. Like, he's not really moving anyone else. He's kind of just sticking with that. So where would he get in? We could just lose money on him if we don't give him enough game time. And like Jorginho, obviously the last game against Birmingham, where he kind of sat nicely into that number 10, shows
you don't want him back in the 9, do you?
You're not at all. And I think it was just absolutely perfect what he was doing against Birmingham. And not gonna lie, the fans have been saying this all along. That's where all season. And I thought he played one of his best games against Birmingham, just because he just picks up that ball and can just watching him in that position is absolutely brilliant. So I agree with you guys. I think it would be a brilliant sign if we could get it in, and I'm not against it, but I just don't think it's priority signing right now for us.
We only have so many signings we can make as well because of FFP and the number of transactions we've already done. So you have to think about, with needs at left back, right back, and even center half, you would hope they would make some other decisions as opposed to bringing in another winger who could also maybe play the central attacking midfielder role, but isn't truly that guy. So as much as it's nice to be linked to a really talented player, unless we think that there's somebody going out that we haven't seen coming, and that often happens. That's the way we operated in July and August, or I guess just August. I think that unless we have a couple wingers going out, I don't see any reason to reinforce there. We have an abundance of riches there. We're very thin in some positions. Don't love Farke's comments about the depth he thinks we have at right and left back, but hopefully that's just a smoke screen, and he knows as well as you and I that we need reinforcements there. So hopefully that's what happens.
Yeah, so I was going to chat to you about that. Obviously, there's been Connor Roberts linked as well. JUSTJOE's been mentioned at left back. The longer this goes on, the more colder I am to JUSTJOE, not the player, just because I don't think Leeds United are going to spend any money. And clubs are willing to spend money on him in January, and I just don't think Leeds United will. So I think we'll look for loans. But Connor Roberts, okay, a lot of people might not say he's Jed Spence levels of technical ability or whatnot, but Connor Roberts has done well in this division, played at Swansea, played at Burnley, got numbers in this division. He's a championship operator, I would say, if you look at him historically. And obviously, he's got minutes in a World Cup and a Euros for Wales, and we know Farke loves his Welshman. So, and is that one that you'd be happy on board with if Ayling was to go to Borough, for example?
Go ahead, Ollie.
I mean, I touched on it the other day, like about Connor Roberts. I think you're bang on with he's a very good championship player, and I think it's not one that we're going to go, he's going to... I think when Jed Spence came in, there was that pressure. There was that thing of like, this guy's going to be the next... excitement, exactly that. And I think with Connor Roberts, it's more of like, okay, we just need someone. And I was listening to you guys the other day talking about Archie Gray, and at first I was very much like, no, Archie Gray for me can't be a right back. But then when you actually, he's been so good this season, and I don't think he's getting ahead of Ethan Ampadu or maybe Glenn Kamara, but he deserves to be in that starting 11. So why wouldn't you play the young guy at right back? But then also there's that contradiction of he is young, he's out of position or whatever. So I do think we definitely need a right back, and Connor Roberts is a good option. It's just I'd rather us be a bit more just efficient as well with it. Let's just get it done. Let's get someone in. And like I respect Farke keeping it, to himself, saying, I don't, but sometimes I don't. I'm sometimes like, teams have come out and just got players, or they've said, no, we need depth. Like, we're not gonna. I don't know what he thinks there. I think it's just a media trained answer sometimes when he says stuff like, no, we've got depth in Ayling, Sam Byram, and Firpo, and you're like, as Leeds fans, we know that's not good enough, and we definitely need someone like Connor Roberts. I think who would be decent. I know we're looking back in December. We're looking at that Connor Bradley. He's a young Liverpool right back as well, who we were looking at in December. Again, very loose rumours, but he went out on loan to Bolton, got player of the season. But would that be good enough? Is that a step up too much for a young player like that? But Yeah, it's just we need, like I said, Fabio Carvalho isn't the priority. A right or left back is definitely, and Connor Roberts at the moment seems like the only one we've really been properly linked with.
Yeah, I do. I don't read too much into what he said in the presser in that respect. I think, look, he came out and said we were looking at a left back before their injuries. They are active. I just think it'll be later. I think we might have to wait till late in the window, as we've seen in the summer.
Why do you think that is, though? Like, why? Like, what is the? We can all see we need, even if it's, I don't know, even if it's...
The only explanation I would have, Ollie, is it's down to data. They're big on data. Maybe they feel, having looked at the data, it's better to move within the second week of January. I don't know. That's the only explanation.
I think there's an explanation for it. And here's the issue. So you have 10 players at the very least who are either through expiring contracts or the end of their loans are probably going to be... All right, Evie, like it, are probably going to be out of the club. So you have Luke Ayling, Stuart Dallas, Robin Koch, Liam Cooper, and I think Jan Paveda are all out of contract at the end of the season. So I think so that's 5. And then you have Jack Harrison, who's definitely going on a transfer. Brendan Aronson, I cannot see back at Leeds under any circumstance. I don't think we'll recoup any money for him. So maybe he stays just because they'll try to stash him and hope they can recoup some value somehow. I don't see it happening. Diego Llorente seems to be gone simply because of the number of matches he's played already in that trigger clause. Max Vober, if they can find the right price, is gone. And then Mark Rock is most certainly gone. So that's 10 players you have, right? Maybe 9, with Aronson being back and forth, that you're going to have off the books at the end of the season. So there are only so many transactions, so much money you can throw around. And I'm sure they're pretty reticent or just hesitant overall about bringing in players that may only be second division players. And if for some reason you do go up through a playoff, you have a ton of transactions happening, a ton of people out of the club. It's very, very difficult to sort out your business. And they don't want to get into a situation where they're in a long-term situation with a player who may not be good for the next division. You have to think about how you're going to rebuild your squad. And if you stay in the division, right, you will be able to keep hold players like Ethan Ampadu, who, again, we didn't see coming, was just a sort of surprise signing. Joe Rodon, if we're able to actually sign him, again, he was a surprise loan signing we didn't really see coming until it happened. So I think there are lots of things happening behind the scenes that make it's not just straight up as go and get a right back or a left back. But to your point, I'm going to use numbers, but they're just metaphors, right? These aren't literal numbers. With a player like Archie Gray being 17 years old and playing out of position, you're going to have matches where he's fantastic. He's going to be a 9 or 10 out of 10. You're also going to have matches where he gets done up a little bit, where he's like a 5 out of 10. Just inconsistency of a young player playing out of position. There's going to be guys that go right at him, and he's going to have tough games. And he has. And he's had some great games. It doesn't mean he doesn't belong there. But the question is, at this level, in order to maybe get into an automatic promotion spot, or who knows, stay in a playoff position, are you going to go with a guy that's going to give you some 9 out of 10s and some 5 out of 10s, or a guy that at this level, is a good 7 out of 10 every single week? It's the difference between winning and losing a couple matches here. And that's not to say that Archie Gray has been singularly responsible for any result. It's just to say that you want experienced old heads who are good at crafty positions like right back, like a left back in these positions, in this division. And I don't mean old age players.
Who do we have? Is your angle, though, that we have a player in Jed Spence that could do that?
Well, we don't anymore.
No, but is that what you thought, though?
Well, what I would rather have seen happen with Archie Gray is to see Farke actually rotate his midfielders, because we've all seen the fatigue in those midfielders. Whether it be, I guess it would be Glenn Kamara coming off, and I don't think you have Gruev and Archie Gray start the same match. But it would be nice to see some of these players get rotated. I mean, we signed Ilya Gruev. That's a Farke signing, and he hasn't given him really any chance to impress. We've only seen Jed Spence in a handful of matches, and only a couple of them at his natural position. So it's very, very difficult. And we've given loads of other players time when they've not been great. Dan James has had some stinkers, and he's had some matches where he's on fire. So all this to say that I think the ideal solution would be, if I was making the decisions in concert with the manager, is I would say, okay, we start a good, solid right back, and we make sure that we rotate Archie one every 3 games or something like that, if we can, depending on who the opponent is. I don't see it happening, because that's not what Daniel Farke is doing. That's my ideal, if we could because that would be great. That would be an ideal situation. It's not going to happen. So at this point, I think we need to resolve ourselves to the reality. that we're probably going to have Archie Gray as our right back for the rest of the season. It's clear that Farke rates him over Jed Spence there. I don't think we're going to get a better signing than Jed Spence. So we're probably should just brace ourselves for the fact that that's what we're going to get.
So, which I don't think is a bad thing, by the way. I think Archie's been good. That's just my opinion. In terms of,
it's not the best thing though, is it, Joe? Like it's
like
in chess, you have excellent and brilliant moves, and then you have good moves.
But I don't think it's a problem, though, Gabe. I genuinely don't think it's a problem. I think he has played really well there.
Yeah, I agree.
You don't think that there's been a couple matches where you're like, ooh,
yes, a couple. Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
right.
a couple.
So,
100%.
And I'm not blaming him for it.
Yeah, no, of course.
What I'm highlighting is, and I'm saying there's a difference between an ideal choice and a good choice. They're just varying levels of, and Archie has been good at right back. Do I think Archie would be more impactful as a rotated piece in central midfield? Yeah, I would. It would take some of the pressure off the guys who are starting now, and it would give us a more consistent, not a better, because Archie's highs have been very, very high, but a more consistent hand at right back. And it would allow some of these players to rest. And it would allow Archie to develop. I think in some ways, his development being stuck at a position that isn't his natural position, that he most certainly won't be playing in 3 years, could hinder his development. And that's something I'm concerned about. So is it a bad thing? I agree, Joe. It's not a bad thing. But is it an ideal or excellent thing? I don't think so.
I'm not convinced he might not be playing there, though.
You think that Archie Gray wants to be a right back for the rest of his career?
He might not want to. I don't think Jamie Shackleton.
I don't think anybody looking in on him is going to like.
No, but my point
wants to sign him is thinking this will be our right back. I think they want him.
Okay, so what I would say, in response to that, I look at someone like Alexander Zinchenko's centre midfielder that plays left back under Pep and Arteta. Trent Alexander-Arnold was also a midfielder that plays right back under Klopp. So there are these scenarios where this can happen. I'm not saying
a Klopp right back is utilized way differently than a Farke right back.
Exactly. So but Gray could also be
sure, but it wouldn't be a
molded into that.
I'm getting us caught in this weird minutia that I don't mean to. I don't mean to hijack.
I don't see the problem with Gray. Like Gray played at right back.
Well, I want to be clear. There's no problem with him there. The problem is, again, I'm exposing myself as a former chess nerd, but it's difference between having an excellent or what's called a brilliant move and just a book or a good move. There's just levels to it. And he has been good. I think he would be more well utilized in his natural position or being rotated and having other options. It's difficult to go Archie Gray as your starting right back because it could be the difference in a draw or an ability. I mean, because he doesn't get forward as well as other fullbacks might. I mean, that's just a fact, right? It could, and when the margins are this small, we're in 4th place right now. We have one of the best squads in the division. It's a matter of slim margins when you're outside of those Leicester position. The margins are slim, and it could be. I would rather have a natural, seasoned, very consistent right back than a 17-year-old. I just think it would be better for us in the playoff.
Yeah, that's totally fine. And I don't know what you mean by this. What does that mean? What's that word? Or is he just spelled wrong?
I think he said, Joe, stop trying to be relevant. I think that's what he's trying to say.
I prefer the spelling that way, relevant.
Yeah. I am being relevant. I don't even know what that means, Andy, but trust me, in this Archie Gray debate, I'm not the relevant one. Genuinely, I'm not.
We're literally debating between Archie Gray being good and could somebody else give us more stability.
Exactly.
It's such a small margins, but I do think in terms of where we're probably going to end up, we should probably bet on playoffs. I don't think the automatic promotion spot is gone. I'm not saying that, but we should probably bet on playoffs. Like smart money is that we're going to be playoff side. Anything can happen. Do you want somebody who isn't a natural in that position when it comes down to one match? I don't know. Or two matches.
The thing is with Archie Gray is he's got so much talent that I just don't think you can't. I think what saves him is his age, because you can bench him because of that. But if someone else had the talent like Archie Gray's got and we were benching him and playing him out of position stuff, you'd have a go. But I honestly think that we need to. I keep changing if I want a right back in or if I want a right back that can cover Archie Gray. I genuinely do. I keep going, do I actually want someone who can come in like a Connor Roberts who will just do a job at right back and let Archie develop in positions? Realistically, he's not going to be starting in central midfield. Obviously, it will keep rotating and he gets saved with age, of course, because he's 17. We can use him when we want. But honestly, when talking about consistency, I think he's been one of our most consistent players this season, because I think there's been games where know,
I've got a man on my side. Go on, lad.
Well, I mean, I love Joe Rodon, I love Pascal, but they've had games that have let us down. Melier's had games that's let us down. It doesn't mean we suddenly go, we need a new goalkeeper.
Wait, what was the last thing you said?
Melier's let us down.
Okay, all right.
I love that. Do you know what though? Yeah, listen.
I'm just kidding. Let's not get caught on that. I don't.
100%, mate. It's all funny. I do just want to pick out this though. Archie's not played every single game. I just want to clarify that point. Archie has not played every single game, folks. Colin would love Nico Williams. He can play right or left back, but I believe Nuno started to use him. He came on in the last 2 games for Forest. Nuno might look at him as someone who's versatile, who can play on either flank. So I don't believe that he'll come back to the Championship either. But yeah, he's an option there. Right, okay. Let's leave transfers there. Let's leave squad issues there for a little bit and talk about tomorrow's game. I'll be honest with you, Gabe. I'm not confident. I've actually said on a number of occasions I think we get beat. Just because I think Peterborough are going really well. I think they'll be up for the occasion. We'll make changes. And we've already seen this season, this squad sometimes, when roughhoused a little bit, can go hiding. And I feel that might be something. Although Peterborough do have a young squad, so maybe I'm just assuming just because they're lower down, they'll give us an hard time. But yeah, I'm just not confident, mate. How do you feel about it, Gabe, going into it?
Listen. I think the last time a side outside of the outside of the top division in English football won the FA Cup, I think it was 1980. So 40 years ago and some change, we're not going to win the FA Cup.
No.
So
no.
I would rather focus on the league. So give the boys a run out. I would love to see some of the players who haven't had some game time get sharp. So when they get brought on in the 82nd minute or after the 75th, which seems to be where Farka likes to make his substitutions, maybe they'll have some game time under their belt and a little bit of confidence to go into it. And there are some players we really don't know what we have, right? So it'd be nice to see them get a run out. So I don't care about the result. I know that sounds really sacrilegious. Obviously, I want us to play well. I want us to win. It doesn't matter to me. We need to do better in the league. We need to get out of 4th. We need to challenge for the 2nd position. And we're not going to win the FA Cup because, again, I repeat, somebody can fact check me here, but I think the last time a side out of the top flight in the Premier League or whatever it was called won the FA Cup was 1980. It's not going to happen. So we should probably just focus on the league.
Just get beat, yeah.
I'm not saying we should. I'm not saying I'm going to watch the game. I want us to win, but I would rather see us. Prepare us to win in the league.
100%. Like I've seen the comments with Southampton, Ipswich, and Leicester all winning today. Joe, we're setting up for a fall, and I'm like, I'm not arsed. Genuinely, I just want us to give a good account of ourselves, see some of the youngsters, and if we go through, we go through. Because, like Gabe said, it's highly unlikely we're going to win it. And yes, it'd be mint to get a glamour tie, but then again, is it a glamour tie? We've only been in the Premier League last season. I would argue not. Yeah, I mean, the only one I'd look forward to is Man United because I think we beat them at Ellen Road in their current guys. But, outside of that, I don't want Liverpool. I don't want City, the Hammers. So I'm not too fussed about it all. And I know that's bad. And maybe that's because we've been beaten down as a fan base because we always play away. We always go to minnows and we always get beat. But I'm not sorry for not being enthusiastic, folks, but it's just how I feel.
Joe, both you and I will be raging if we lose. I was raging after Solomon.
100%.
So it's like, I guess I do care. But I say that.
I mean, like, why has he played Archie again? He's 17. He needs a rest. What say you, Ollie, on this one?
It's similar. I mean, it's not that I want us to go out, but I'm thinking it's set up for Leeds to be the first team to shock exit or something like that. Even though, as Leeds fans know, if we went out, it's not a shock to us. You know what I mean? It would just be typical Leeds. But again, we've got more important things to, focus on, aka the league. And I'm similar with you. I think it's because we've only just come down from the Premier League. I think a few seasons ago when we were in the Championship, with the likes to go to Anfield and things like that. I mean, we've already done it, mate. We've completed it. We've already beat them at Anfield. We don't need to do it again. But like I said, like you said, sorry, the only one that would kind of excite me is, say, if we could play, Man United again, maybe try and get something over them. But like I said, I want to see some rotation. I want us to win, obviously, and I'll be annoyed if we don't. But yeah, I'm similar with you guys, really.
I love this from Evie. Very topical. Joe, you'll be like, why has he played Archie as a midfielder? He's a right back. Definitely love that. Nick says Gabe is correct. It was West Ham in 1980. This is a good point, though, by Kelvin. Losing becomes a habit. I suppose it is, it's good to have momentum. I think the key thing is, right, Gabe, we've been shocking away from home. We've lost the last 3 away from home. We're going away from home in the league, in the cup, sorry. It'd be good to actually get 3 points just because we play Cardiff next. You don't want to then make that 4 losses away from home in the spin, including one of them losses being to lower league opposition.
No, you don't. I mean, as I said, it is kind of, I'm almost backtracking in real time right now because I don't want to put our most competitive side out. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me. That being said, I would hope that Willie Gnonto and Ilya Gruev, whoever it is we start in this match could, go away from home and play a side that we should be able to beat quite handily. So, I guess we'll see. Again, what I'll say about the FA Cup, and there was an interesting comment we just got that someone said the moon landing was 30 to 40 years ago. I think they want to check their dates. But remember, the only countries who have been to the moon were the top 2 economies in the world at the time. So, it's not quite the same comparison. A lower
Did they even go to the moon, though? Do we believe this? Did they go to the moon?
We got Joe Rogan here on the channel instead of just Joe. My Lord. What else are we going to get? Now, the point being that it's just, listen, with money being what it is, the third choice at any of these big clubs is going to smack around a championship side. So it's just very, very difficult. Could we win? Sure. I would love to believe the romance. Statistics tell me never going to happen. So I would rather us, prepare the players going forward. You still expect to beat a team like this away from home, if it's away from home. So I think we should keep our standards what they are, but maybe not, cry if we go out.
Yeah, I think the positive thing, having tried to sample some Peterborough content, I think the key thing is with Peterborough currently, they have a young squad, they have an attacking squad. Darren Ferguson likes to play a certain style, which might actually lend itself to Leeds United, because when teams come and have a go, we invariably beat them, because we are able to get them in transition, like we've seen with Ipswich, for example. We beat them 4-0. If Ipswich play more defensively, then that game might look totally different. But because they opened up and left us with loads of space, if Peterborough look to do the same at home, full crowd, maybe it might be the perfect foil for us. Styles make fights, as they say. Gabe, I do just want to ask you a quick question, actually. Yeah. Before we pick our 11, someone keeps mentioning the goalkeeper situation. What did you make to Klassen, and what are your thoughts on him? And would you, because I think Farke puts Meslier straight back in for Cardiff, especially with Darlow's thumb. Would you want Klassen to stay in? Did you see enough from him in that game, or?
I think you should start the FA Cup tie, but for the same reason that I don't rate Meslier as a keeper, which is the long-term accumulation and observation of both visual performance and data. I'm not going to look at one match where a guy doesn't concede weak goals and say, "Oh, he's ready to be the starter for Leeds United." It would be a ridiculous thing to assert. What we do know in the limited data, we know that Darlow's hurt. But we do know that his performances weren't particularly good. We all remember the Salford match as well. So unless we go to the market and sign, which at this level you have to think, do we have to do that? The answer is probably no. It's no secret that I don't rate Meslier as a keeper. I think he's average, slightly below average, but he's not bad enough where I think that he's going to be our Achilles heel. So no, I don't think we put in a guy who had one sort of good match and didn't really face any threat on him against one of the worst teams by one of the worst managers we will see in a long time in Wayne Rooney's Birmingham City.
No, that's fair. That's fair. Right. So let's now, and we'll come to you first, Ollie. Let's talk about our 11. I'm going to stick this up here for us, right? I'll put us at the side. There we go. And we'll talk through it. Ollie, what do we think? Are we thinking a blend of youth, experience? Is that where he's going to go? Is he still going to go strong? He did say in the presser about he takes every game serious, every competition serious. So how do you think he's going to approach it?
I think there will be a bit of a mix, but I don't think there'll be. I don't think we're going to start. I don't think we're going to start 11 under 21s or whatever. I think we're
not going to see like McGurk out thrown in, are we? Do you think?
No, I don't think so. I think we will see a mix of a few. When I say, I don't even think like necessarily youngsters. I think we'll just see a different team to what we normally see. But I still think he'll play someone like Ethan Ampadu.
100%. I was going to say he will.
Even though he's the guy who probably needs a rest.
Yes, exactly. God. The thing is, the way that Farker will look at it is. So when we spoke to that Norwich fan, he basically said Oliver Skipp played every single minute until he got injured. So that's a player in the similar mould as Ethan Ampadu and played the similar role that Ethan Ampadu does. Obviously, he was on loan from Spurs. So I believe that Ethan Ampadu will play. I don't think he trusts a midfield of, say, Kamara and Gruyev or Gray and Gruyev. I think he has to play Ampadu. So I agree with you. I think we will see these sort of players. Rodon has to play due to injuries, but even not, I think he'd have gone with Rodon. I think there will be players that just, no matter what, will play in this side. I think you bang on. Let's start with goalkeeper. We've only got one, right? It's not going to be Donny van der Heuvel. It'll be Klassen, won't it? You'd imagine. Yeah. How do I spell it?
It's
you can just abbreviate it as class because he's going to be class in this match.
There's an E in there.
Now who knows?
It's KLAE.
Oh, is it an E? Right, SS. Oh, it's because I'm on centre backs. It's not a centre back.
Oh.
KLE. Right, someone tell me how to spell it.
This is the best. No, I want to just keep guessing, Joe.
It's K. Yeah, like that. There we go. Oh, sure.
Right, so this is how bad he is, folks. There aren't even any results for him. All right, this is how bad Christopher Klassen is. He hasn't been inputted into this data. So let's just leave the goalkeeper shy. Okay, it wasn't masculine.
Surely someone.
Yeah, it is. It is. Right? No, they have. That's what I've done. It's KLAESSON.
Yeah, Clayson.
No results.
No, because you're
still on.
No, I'm not. I promise. Because if you look, there's a little. I'm pointing at my screen. There's a little dot there. You see what I mean? So it comes up there. So yeah.
What a shambles.
Yeah. So Klassen, great one to use. Right, Klassen's not even there, right, folks? So like, know that we've put Klassen in there, okay, folks?
Yeah.
I'm not searching centre back. I promise I'm not. Right. Okay. So right centre back.
Do you know who I think is going to play right centre back?
Go on.
I genuinely think we might start Luke Ayling at right centre back, and then we might do Joe Rodon left centre back.
I thought that, but do we not? Surely, this did enter.
Just hearing it made me hurt.
My thought process, but would it?
Surely not.
Would it not be Creswell? Surely he has to play Creswell, unless Creswell is due for a move.
That's what I mean. I think he's quite unhappy, Creswell, isn't he? I don't know if I think it should be Creswell and Rodon.
Has to be Creswell.
Let's go for it. But I do think I could see Ayling.
No, I agree with you.
Ollie, if this is what you're manifesting in 2024, I'm done.
No, but let's go Creswell and Rodon. I think that. I mean, that's brilliant for me. I think that'll be brilliant. But I could see Ayling getting in that.
That's a slow tandem, though, isn't it?
Yeah,
it is.
I guess Rodon's a bit quicker than he looks.
Yeah,
but Creswell doesn't quite have that.
Well, if we do our job up top, we won't have to worry about them, attacking.
Yeah. At least we know with Creswell, if there's going to be any set pieces, both attacking and defending, and he's going to stick his head on it. That's the main thing. He's going to stick his head on it. Right back then, if Ayling's not playing at centre back, he's playing at right back, surely.
Yeah, I'd say that.
Yeah. How do you feel about that? How do you feel about it?
Who else is there? You're right.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Are you not happy about that?
No, I gotta be nice. I gotta be nicer to Bill. I mean, against Peterborough, he should be fine.
Should be. Right, left back. Firpo, or do we worry about his fitness because we might need him for Cardiff because we're not sure on Byram? So do we give Hjelde a run, or how do we?
I think Hjelde's still hurt, isn't he?
Is he hurt? I mean, he's shite anyway, isn't he? But people are mentioning Shackleton as well. That could be another case for putting Ayling at right centre back and Shackleton at right back. Ollie.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. That's what I thought originally.
But if Charlie Cresswell can't get a game in the FA
no,
Cup,
I agree.
Like, you know, like he's got to get a game just to shop him for loan signing. You know?
I think he will go Firpo though tomorrow.
Yeah,
I can see him going Firpo. I can't really think of anywhere. Who else would we play there? Would Shax maybe could do a job at left back?
He did play there, didn't he? He came on for Cody Drama at left back when Cody got hooked. Do you remember?
Yeah.
So
I think Firpo will at least get 45.
Yeah. If Firpo pulls up with a hamstring injury, though, I swear to God.
Oh no, I know we're up shit.
That might be a blessing in disguise, though. To be fair, because then we might go.
Oh man, he was good last time.
We just need a left-footed left back. You know, like I'm not one of those guys that buys into that at the center half positions. I think professionals should be able to play with both feet, but when you're actually tasked with overlapping and attacking, being able to turn, you need to be able to play with your dominant foot on your dominant side. So
I agree because I don't remember him saying that in the presser. To be honest,
I thought he was hurt, Jamie Shackleton.
No, maybe he is then. Maybe he is. Okay, cool. Right. So in midfield, then we've got to choose. Listen up. I think Ampadu plays.
Yeah, so do I. I think Ampadu and Gruev.
I think it would be a mistake.
Just because of what happened at Stoke when he brought in Gruev and he changed it all and it went tits up, I just think he needs the reliability of Ethan Ampadu in midfield.
Yeah. I think so. Even if it's not full 90 minutes, at least 60, 70, I think Ampadu gets
What is the point of signing Ilya Gruev if you can't play him in the FA Cup against a divisions down opponent?
I think I could maybe see Gruev starting next to Ampadu though.
That would be the least progressive midfield I've seen in my lifetime. And I've watched the US men's team.
Who do you think start next? Who do you think is the midfield two? Who would you?
I think it could be Ampadu and Gruev. I can't lie to you, but I agree with Gabe as well. Though we've seen it in the league, and they're just too similar. They're too similar. You can't play them both.
I would rather see Kamara or even Archie Gray. I mean, Gray could, but you're right. You know what? We're talking about what we think is going to happen, not what we want to happen, right?
Yeah.
You're probably right. Yeah. He's going to go with Ampadu. Actually, he may just go with Ampadu and Kamara again. He may just roll them back out and give him 60, 70 minutes.
I think the players he relies on are people like Joe Rodon, Ampadu, and we'll have a strong attacker in there as well.
Yeah,
so I think spine. Yeah, I think Ampadu will be in there.
I think he'll go in there as well, if I'm honest. So we'll put
Frank Lampard in there.
We've got Ethan Ampadu in there. See, people are saying Lewis Bate and Darko JB. I don't think he will because they've never. He will go with a blend of first teamers, those that are fit enough, those that have got knocks. He won't risk. So Cooper may have a knock. He said he may be too soon for him, so I don't think he plays Cooper because he'll need him for Cardiff.
Yeah,
but I think it's players that are on the periphery on the bench week in, week out. I don't see him just bringing in Darko JB from the cold or, a McGurk from the under-21s. That's just my opinion, though.
No, I agree. It's similar. Sorry to cut you off, Joe. It's similar to what he said about Sonny Perkins. He came back and a lot of people saying, yeah, right, chuck him in.
Yeah.
If he can't be getting minutes in League One, what sort of message does it send out to the rest of the squad if this guy who can't get minutes for Oxford in League One to just chuck him straight back into the team for the players that have been training and working hard? So I feel people like Lewis Bate, yes, talented player. I really like Darko JB as well. I believe we'll go. So I think it will be either Gruev, Gray, or Kamara. I don't think he will go anything more, or maybe even Shackleton in the middle. He might do that. Oh no, Shackleton's out injured. Sorry, my bad.
I can't see Shackleton. Stop.
Do you know what? I'm just gonna.
It might happen, but good lord.
I'm just gonna now, right? I'm just gonna pull up the lineup versus Salford because we can use it as a reference point. To be honest,
did we have a full strength side against Salford? Didn't we?
I'm just having a look now, bro. So this is the lineup. So we had Rutter, Gelhardt, Somerville, Nonto, Gray, Ampadu.
I don't full strength side. Never mind.
I don't think we had Kamara at that point though. I don't think this was in August, right? We didn't. Hjelde would have been the preferred left back at that time. Creswell was brought in. Did we have Rodon? I mean, this game.
It was the game just after Ipswich.
29th. 29th. Yeah, sorry, it was the 29th of August. Okay, it gives us a reference point, doesn't it? And Ampadu played in that game, and that's Salford. So, do you think he might go with Gray? Do you think he might go with Gray?
I think he
and
might
maybe
go
put
Gray.
him back in.
I think your first instinct was probably right, though. I think he's probably going to play Glenn Kamara. With Ampadu. I think you're probably right.
I don't know though. This is genuinely difficult. I think we've also Gruev needs a start, but like you said, maybe them two play a bit too similar, and I don't know.
I think he got. Do you know what?
I hope and what I think.
Yeah, I think he goes Gruev. I think he goes Ampadu and Gruev.
Let's do it.
Yeah, I think he does. I just don't see him resting Ampadu ever.
No.
But there you go. Right. Okay. This is where it gets a little bit interesting. Do we think we'll see either one of Pirro or Bamford start, or does he throw Mateo Joseph in for a start?
I think Pirro or Bamford personally. I think it depends who he wants to start against Cardiff. If he goes with Bamford again, I could genuinely see my front four. I could see him going with like an Anthony, maybe a Poveda in there, a Willie Nonto and Pirro maybe. Poveda is the 10.
Yeah.
I don't know though. That's not me saying that's what I think it should be. I just
right.
Again, I don't know.
I think he might start Poveda.
Yeah. To be fair, when Poveda's had little features, he's a good little technical player.
Yeah, it's all right, hasn't he? Yeah.
Wasn't there a report that he wasn't going to give Joffrey a loan away?
Joffrey's injured though. Joffrey's got a glute. Yeah, Joffrey's got a glute problem. He mentioned Joffrey. Yeah, I remember him saying that. So
because if Joffrey weren't hurt, this would be a match for him to try to impress.
Agreed.
Yeah, I hope we do see Joseph, because and it's not just our fan base, but many fan bases tend to imagine that players they haven't seen are going to light it up. This will give us some real substance to back that up, and this is a match for him. If he's going to come on and have an impact, this is a great one to do it, and maybe justify further inclusions as an impact sub. So I would love to see him play. Obviously, I think we really need to see Willie Nonto in a match like this. It'd be nice to see Jaden Anthony in a match like this as well.
I agree.
Both are quality players. So, but do I think I think he'll probably play Dan James.
Really?
Yeah.
No, I don't see that. Really?
I don't think Daniel Farke's happy unless he sees Dan James running on the right.
I think
loves Dan James.
I think what Joe's putting in there is right, and I genuinely think Poveda might start at that.
Yeah, I do.
But who goes up to, or does he start someone like, does he bring in a Somerville or Rutter for a game like this?
Maybe he plays Nonto in the 10 and puts James on the right.
Yeah.
I feel like we're playing Football Manager.
Yeah. I feel like we've got to decide the team tomorrow.
I think the thing is, though, what Farke has shown us is he doesn't like to overhaul rotation. Like maybe he'll, and I guess we only have Salford to really draw from, but some new faces in. I know they look different now but there's more selection now. So I don't know. I can't see him making like 7-8 changes. Can you? Like,
no, I also think that we've got to respect Peterborough as well, because we're not, you know, they're not an awful side. They're obviously a league below us, but that's never, you know, done anything in the past for Leeds United. And like you said, they play football. They can play good football.
Yeah,
so
they do.
I think what we're putting out is a good team. Obviously not our strongest 11, but I think he's not gonna. I don't think he'll gamble with someone like Joseph. Personally, I think Joseph's been brilliant when he's come on. Sorry, but I don't know if he'll start him. I honestly don't. I think he might start either a Pirro or Bamford, but I don't know. Who should we say? Who should we say?
I'm just having a look at Peterborough actually. What's that? Sorry.
Oh, you think he's been brilliant when he's come on?
Joseph, yeah, I think for not necessarily. I think, genuinely, I do. I think he's come on. He's back. He's looked a lot stronger than I thought he was.
Yeah.
I think we've brought him on in games we can't do anything from, if I'm being completely honest. And I don't think any of our substitutes, when we've needed to come on, have necessarily done anything, if I'm being completely honest. Apart from maybe Nonto a few times. But I think he's looked okay.
Okay, but that's different than brilliant.
No, okay.
All right, that's what I was pushing. I was like,
no, okay, yeah.
Did I miss a couple goals or something?
No. He's been good. He has.
All right, cool. No. We agree.
No.
I was I was genuinely like, I'm trying to think of did I forget some performances? No.
I like I said, he's not been. But I don't think any of the substitutes.
He hasn't looked out of place for sure. I agree.
Yeah.
And physically, I think he looks good. Like backing into a striker as well. Like sometimes we need a bit of that from our strikers, I think.
Yeah. I'm just looking as well at Peterborough, they're unbeaten. They haven't lost a game in 10. The last time they lost was the 21st of November against Colchester, and that was in the EFL Trophy.
I wish we could play Colchester.
Yeah. They're third in the league.
Week in, week out. Pretty awesome.
They've only drew 3 of them 10 as well, so they've won 7 out of them. Just on Mason Clark as well, Vic Vinegar, because he's on my thumbnail graphic and I've heard bits about him. He's actually on his way to Charlton. Apparently, he's been sold to Charlton, so he might not be in the squad. So that will be good if Mason Clark isn't in the squad. But we'll have to wait and see because he's well thought of and he's got a couple of goals this season as well. Right, okay, back to the lineup then, folks. So my thought process is Poveda and Pirro.
Yeah, I agree.
That's mine. Maybe I'm wrong. Gabe, what's your 2?
I think we'd struggle to create chances, especially if Peterborough decide that they want to set up in a inviting mid block. I think we would struggle to progress the ball with like a Gruev and Ampadu. That's part of the reason I think we'll see Kamara. But not that Kamara is this outrageously progressive midfielder.
Pivot them to.
I mean, he might at this point. Is it just thatch work of guessing? But our 2 least progressive holding midfielders there, I think, would create a real problem if we had Jan Poveda playing in the center attacking midfielder role. I think that would be a tall ask, even against a League One team who was probably going to. I mean, look, Peterborough may come out and play open against us. That would be stupid, but maybe they will. If they do, then great. I don't. Then I'm happy with who we've got. But if they decide to set up in a mid block where they're sort of waiting for us to just play it around and denying us a big switch, then I mean, we could have some real problems generating clear chances. I don't think, to be fair, I don't really know much about how they play week in, week out. I don't watch a lot of League One, despite the lascivious rumors that I'm a Grimsby fan. Wait, are Grimsby League 2? Yeah, they're League 2.
League 2 on national.
Yeah, they're not even League 1.
Yeah.
So I don't really know how they set up, but I think it would make sense if you watched any film of Leeds United at all, that we actually struggle more against a compact mid block than we do against a low block, because we just haven't had the outside backs that can ping that diagonal switch. And when we have had it we haven't had those players playing that their strengths are playing a dangerous first touch into a dangerous area. We've had guys like Dan James who are much better having a ball played in behind on the floor.
What are outside backs, mate?
Right and left back. Hey.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
I just had to clarify.
Yeah.
I'm only joking, mate. I'm only joking. Yeah,
killing me.
I'm only joking. Right, who are we putting in the 10?
I would say Poveda, but do you see any chance of Ruta or Somerville starting this game? Do you see any chance of it? Because I just see Evie's just said in the chat that it's hardly any creativity in that team.
No,
I think obviously Nontos can create something sometimes, but I think Poveda he offers you a bit of something. But
you have to have a link between those deep lying midfielder positions and those wingers.
Maybe we do need Ruta to start. I don't think he will. I would personally.
He won't start either of the wingers because he'll start Anthony and Nonto. He has enough trust in them to start this game for me.
But it's that 10 though, isn't it?
Is it?
Or I saw someone say maybe Pirro and Bamford.
Imagine he just rolls out the same starting 11 as he did last week. To be fair, I mean, I don't know, man.
I personally think Pirro up top and maybe Poveda in the 10. That's what I would maybe say.
I'm happy to go with Poveda. I'm happy to go with Jan Poveda there. Look at his flowing locks there. However, I think he'll go Joseph me up top.
Really?
Yeah.
I think that's a team that would struggle to create anything
What with them three? What with Anthony, Pavetta, and Gnonto?
It's because listen, there are some ways you can deploy a 4-2-3-1 in order to create chances that way. But Farke, the way his system is employed, is slow, methodical, possession-oriented build-up. You need to have a creative link who's going to be able to engage the Jaden Anthonys, the Willie Gnontos, unless, again...
No, see, I think it'll be in transition, though. I think a lot of it will be in transition. I think
so you think they're going to come and try to play with us?
Yeah, definitely.
I think they'd be really stupid to
that's how they play, though. They're not going to... They're at home. They have an expansive coach. They have a young, exciting team. They ain't coming to sit behind the ball for me, Peterborough. They ain't that type.
They should just watch Ipswich tried to play us that way 2 matches in a row, and we smacked them all the way back home.
Not all managers just rip up their principles because it happened to another team, right?
It's called stubbornness.
Well, yeah.
I mean, honestly, like you have to be pragmatic. If they're going to go deep into a cup, well, I suppose, yeah. What do I know? But at the end of the day, I just think the worst, every team that's given us any difficult, and let's be honest, Rotherham's almost a League One team. QPR is almost a League One team. Rotherham will be, and they both might be League One teams next season.
Yeah.
Both those teams gave us some measure of difficulty, and many teams that we should on paper beat have given us difficulty by sitting in a mid block and just frustrating and not giving us any, because we do play a narrow 4-2-3-1. We do. We don't play with a lot of width. I'm not saying we should, but if you just congest the middle of the pitch and don't let the central holding midfielders have easy lanes to receive the ball in order to play to the connective player, you can frustrate us in terms of chances because guys like Gnonto and Anthony get starved for service. So that's the way to do it. We're not, I think there's this misconception that teams are just packing the box against us. They're not. They're sort of waiting at the halfway line and putting 2 or 3 guys in those channels from the center halves to the holding midfielders. And maybe Jan Pavetta comes all the way back and helps link up play. But it doesn't matter how good your wingers are. If you can't connect in open play with them, then you're not going to generate chances. So I'm sort of thinking, if I'm the Peterborough manager and I've watched any Leeds United content all season, I know that the way to get at them is to just pack the mid block and make things difficult for the creative players.
Let me just, Offred there was a Peterborough fan. I just wanted to know how he envisaged them to go and play. Obviously, he said they're not bothered if we don't progress. We're third in the league. We want promotion. We ain't winning no FA Cup, a bit like what we'd said earlier on, Offred, apart from we're fourth. But I just, with you being a Peterborough fan, watching them week in, week out, just give us an idea how you expect the team to play. Jamie, don't get it twisted as well. I wasn't saying that we sit back, let them come on to us. I was just saying they will come and have a go, and therefore when we win the ball, they'll be more exposed so we can then do them fast transitions. I'm not saying we sit in. That wasn't what I was saying. I expect us to have a lot of possession of the ball for sure. But what I'm saying is when they do get their attacks, I think we'll be able to, spring our own on them. Yes, the game is on ESPN as well for anyone watching in the States, so you should be able to get a visual radio sorted for you out over here. Yeah. ESPN Plus it is on. Pete Booth says, here's your share of my ACCA win today. Big up, Pete Booth. I tell everyone they have to do this, and no one ever does it, so you're the first person that's ever done it. So for that, Pete, big up to you, my man. Thank you for that. The posh fans no longer with... Oh, he's here. Right, okay, we will play the same way we play every league game. We will attack on the break against Leeds United. Is that with you sitting in, waiting to win the ball off us, and then obviously springing them attacks? Yeah.
That would be smart.
Yeah, we shall see. We shall see. But they're a young, exciting team. They will come and have a go. I don't think it'll be one man up top. They're going to play direct into him a bit like Coventry did, for example. We shall wait and see. Right, striker. What do we think? Do we go Pirro? Do we go Bamford? Do we go Joseph?
I think I've seen the light. And you know what I'm genuinely thinking? I genuinely think he starts Rutter and Pirro. I think Pavetta drops, and I think he might start Rutter.
He probably will. Yeah.
I genuinely could see him starting Rutter. Just because but Pavetta probably deserves a start. We can't go back. Let's decide a striker. There's no point deciding on
it. He probably has. To your point, Ollie, I think Farke has a vested interest in validating what he said from the start. That the way he lined those guys up with Pirro, with Turan and Rutter, and I mean not playing a traditional number 9, but playing quote up top is the way to play these guys. So what better? I mean, he needs another run out for it. He probably will do it.
I just see a lot of. I think for Farker, I think there's too many changes maybe in this team. That's why I think he might stick with someone like Rutter in there, because then he's got Roden, Ampadu, and Clayson. But I don't know. I don't know. He. I don't know. Maybe he could start Rutter. I think we will see a key player in there. Obviously, Ampadu is one, but I could see. I don't. Can we really see him not drop in, but can we really see him starting a team without Rutter, without Somerville, without Pirot, or without James? I think at least one of them starts.
Yeah, you probably make a good point. Just looking at it here, obviously, in the previous lineup, he did have Rutter, he did have Somerville, he did have Nonto. But again, we have to factor in, though, when that was as well. It was right at the start of the season. Do you know what I mean? So
but that was a few days after all them played against Ipswich, though, and that was a 4-3 game, and
he might take it a lot more seriously than I know this is all hypothetical and it's just kind of fun to put together, but realistically speaking, even though saying what we've said, what I said about not winning the FA Cup, you need to at least progress, right? And you need to. There has been some scrutiny of Farke recently because of a string of maybe pedestrian results. So I think now is a good time, after the holiday, to get the fans feeling good. And the more and more I look at this, the less likely I think it is for him to actually deploy something like this. I don't think he'll play all the starters, but I can imagine that he'd want to come out and start the new year out strong.
Yeah, I agree. I think the four. I now actually think the four up top will be Anthony, Nonto, in the 10 Rutter, and in the 9 Pirot. I genuinely think he might do that.
I think he goes with good old Dan James on that right wing. But that's just me.
I think
he'll play Nonto. I think, man.
Yeah, I think he's got to, and unless Nonto's, I don't know. Who knows? And Anthony needs to start. If not, Bournemouth will just take him back soon. So
yeah. And I think that's a good lineup. That's more than enough to beat Peterborough for sure. I was just having a look according to, and listen, who scored isn't the wealth of all knowledge, but according to them, which is this really excites me. Very weak at stopping opponents from creating goal scoring chances. So hopefully we will be able to create at will, and if we will, then we'll win the game. But it says here they have a possession-based style. They attack through the middle with short passes. They have a consistent first 11, playing in their own half, and they are non-aggressive. But creating chances through individual skill. Yeah, you can see it all there in front of you anyway. That's their characteristics according to who scored.
But the most... Sorry, Joe. I didn't mean to butt in, but
that's all right.
Also, Farke touched about, obviously, in January, the games have slowed a lot down from December. Obviously, we're playing a game every 3 days. Now it's pretty much once a week he was touching on. So that's why, that's why I do feel like he will. There's not a massive risk in starting 5 or 6 starting 11 players that we normally see because they have a week to recover. I genuinely, I think if we had this game obviously in December, that would be different. We could maybe see 8 or 9 changes, but that's why I think someone like Rutter and Pirot and Ampadu and things will still remain in the starting 11.
Yeah, because he said before running about they've had 4 days and that's enough rest for them. So 7 days, like you say, he'll probably think if they don't play, they won't be right enough for Cardiff away. But you are right. I mean, we've got after this a game Saturday against Cardiff, Sunday the following week, and then Saturday. So it's once a week. Right, we've come up to the hour. We've come up with our lineup. Let's have some score predictions. I think we get beat. I do. No, I do. I'm not. I've said there's just something in me.
I'm just after all the we spent an hour putting this lineup together. I think it'll go full strength. I think we get beat. It just hit me. It's funny.
Come on. No, I do. There's just something in. We shouldn't. Let me just qualify that. And if he does go with a massively strong lineup, which you could argue this is, then we should be beating them. But something tells me we get beat. Just because it's the cup, it's Peterborough, and I ain't that ass. So I think Leeds United get beat 2-1, which is what Robbie's put here. I think they beat us, but hopefully I'm wrong though. Gabe, what about you?
I am a cynical enough person in so many other ways that I just can't give myself over to this. I also don't believe in curses or what is it? I'm just not superstitious. So I'm not like, oh, that's proper Leeds. That I think we should beat this team. We will beat this team. So I'll give it a 3-1 Leeds United.
Nice. No clean sheets. So we've got a loss, a 3-1 win. Ollie, what are you saying?
Well, I should say a draw on a replay, shouldn't I? But I'm going to say...
man, we don't want a replay, do we?
Exactly.
That's the last thing we want.
No. I'm probably going to say 2 or 3-1 to Leeds. I do think we will concede. I think, I think there's, like I said, there's enough there. We should beat them. But like you said, Joe, doesn't mean we will.
Yeah. No, exactly. Hopefully we will. Hopefully we will. Like I said, the game kicks off at 2:00. Hopefully it's a good day. We can get in the hat for the 4th round and see what we get. Yeah, see what we get. Get Glamour or maybe play. Maidstone got through, didn't they? So let's get Maidstone at Ellen Road and get to the 5th round, and then we'll all start getting nosebleeds saying we're going to win the FA Cup.
One of Roy Hodgson's old clubs, Maidstone.
Excuse
me. Yeah.
Look at that.
How do you know that knowledge? Have you got his book or something? How do you know?
No. I remember somebody venting on the internet about his management credentials. Nice. Grasshoppers, Maidstone. It's really funny.
I love that. I tell you what, I did listen to today up front with Simon Jordan, and it was Steve Bruce, and it was actually a really good listen, and he's a really nice bloke. So there you go. You should give it a listen. Stacey, it's Stacey's birthday today. Sorry. Happy birthday, Stacey. Sorry, I missed that.
Joe, give her a sing. Go on.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Although that's not my go-to anymore.
He's interrupted the happy birthday song.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. I'll try it. Happy birthday. That's what he does, isn't it?
Very good.
Very good.
Yeah, that's what he does, though, right?
Oh, we have been cancelled, but it's good.
Yeah. No, there's no wrong with that. Come on. What were you going to say, Ollie?
Oh, I can't even remember now. I'm so distracted.
I'm always interrupting. I do.
No, genuinely, I actually can't remember. Anyway, happy birthday.
Yeah.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, happy birthday. Yeah, happy birthday indeed. Happy Extraction Day yeah. Don't call
Extraction
it
Day? That's not a reference I know.
Like extracting the baby out of the vajayjay.
Oh,
extraction. Oh, I assume that's what he meant, unless he meant something else.
Like, that's what they call it on Alien, extracting. It's not.
Yeah. Well,
surely that's not what they use as a medical term.
Stacey is a bit of a wild one, so you never know with Stacey, to be honest.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. Right. Okay. I think we'll leave it there before we do get cancelled.
Hinged ending.
Yeah, exactly. Right, 2 p.m. So I'll be live from 1. Make sure you check out Gabe over at Connor's channel on 1 Leeds, and of course Ollie Ward. Make sure you check them both out. Make sure you subscribe to all them channels. And yeah, we'll leave it there. Have a great Saturday, innit? Have a great Saturday evening. What's left of it, and yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. Have I just? Oh, my internet's shit in it. Right, I'm gonna leave you. Bye, everyone. Bye.